My name is Annisha. I'm 17 years old, and this is my story. I initially came into Charlotte's Behaviorals because of the problems I was going through depression, and anxiety, and problems at my house. I was going through a hard time with my family and through my own emotional support and mental support, and I needed help. The story behind me going into Charlotte's Behavioral is because there was conflict within the family through my niece. My niece died. It was very hard for the whole family. I didn't really understand it because through my own problems, having grief was really hard for me to go through, but the rest of my family went through it. And so being able to see the damage it caused and the faults I saw within everyone's emotions, it brought me down also. This also affected my grades, it affected my sleep, it affected the way I ate, and I was failing school, my grades were dropping, I was getting into arguments with my parents, causing conflict with family members, and it was getting harder to deal with. I soon became suicidal because of my depression. I never thought I could actually even become suicidal. Like, I always used to think, oh, becoming suicidal was just, you're just sad or something. But then when I actually went through it, it was more than that. Like, you become numb and you don't understand anything and you pretty much lose all hope, no matter if it's within yourself or within the society you live in. And realizing this was bad, I asked for help from my therapist, and she Baker acted me. This helped me, while being Baker acted, this helped me understand that, first of all, I'm not the only person going through this. There's other kids in the unit, including myself, and I heard of different stories and different problems, and this really helped me see that, wow, like, mental health is such a huge problem. I think being Baker acted was like one of the best things that could happen, not only because, you're there to, recollect yourself, but also it helps, it's like an actual time of yourself to think within yourself.
My name is Dawn. I am Anisha's mother. I adopted Annisha and 6 of her sisters. They came into our life about 7 years ago. We saw change actually immediately when she was released she was Baker acted. She had talked to her counselor and had said some things, and the counselor Baker acted her. Visiting her at the center, I could see a change already. It was like her eyes were open to other people and other things around her. So we started noticing, changes right away. But once the team all got in place and everybody was working with her, she just blossomed really fast. And the peace that's in our house right now is unbelievable, because Anisha and I now work as a team. We're not working against each other. And when the counselor comes over, we sit down, and an issue that we can't get through, we sit down with the counselor, and she brings a different viewpoint that both of us could look at differently.
Yeah, I was really depressed. I wouldn't ever talk to anybody. I was secluded in my room. That was my sanctuary. I would hide things. I would steal things. Things have gotten better. We've had some ups and downs, more downs than ups, but we are continuing to work and come up with ideas and more solutions to problems that we haven't been able to figure out. I can still feel it lingering, but it's not as bad as it was. Like, it was at the point where I just wanted to stay in bed and not talk to anybody. It was getting to the point where I was just like, why am I even here? Definitely my attitude has changed tremendously. I would always have a negative attitude even when I woke up. I'd just wake up and I'm like, you people again. I would just wake up and I would just be so angry for no apparent reason. and I'd be angry at them for something that happened like 5 years behind us, and I would just be so angry all the time, and I would just be so depressed, and that affected my attitude. It was just negative actions, and it was causing me to do negative things. But now I'm able to, subside from all that and focus on the positive things that I've done, positive things that I'm doing now, and positive things that I need to do in the future.
I was having a lot of problems with Tim's behaviors. He was what I would call scary. He would get very angry, and he wasn't very good at showing his emotions, so he would break things, punch holes in his wall. It was really scary here. And so I wasn't sure whether he was going to hurt himself or someone else. And so we went looking for help, and that's how we got in touch with the Charlotte Behavioral Health Center. And we met with our first counselor, and we were working on doing some things, and we were still having some problems. And so she suggested some other counseling, which we decided we would try. And Tim started that just over a year ago now. He started working with his new counselor, and it's helped a great deal. I'm not afraid that when he goes in his room alone that he's going to hurt himself and that I won't have a son anymore, because that's how bad it got. I was afraid for him to leave my sight because I didn't know what was going to happen. And so we still have our issues, and we will continue to work on those, which I'm very happy about. But he's a different kid. I mean, he didn't used to really talk to anybody about anything, and now he goes places, he talks to people. He went camping with a Christian group, and he got up in front of everybody and gave a talk. They were so proud of him, and that's something he would have never done, never. So our lives have changed a great deal, and I'm really pleased with the counseling he's received.
Families need a variety of services available to them and often struggle to handle issues themselves for quite some time before reaching out. Because Florida is funded 41st in the nation in per capita mental health funding, there are substantial gaps in our system of care. These gaps are where Fred Lang Foundation steps in and funds essential services that could not be offered otherwise. Kids like Tim and Annisha and their families want to change their lives, but they just don't know how. And that's where CBHC steps in to help. And with the early interventions and prevention strategies that Fred Lang is supporting, there's so much hope. We appreciate your partnership and your financial support in helping these children and families change their lives and create a brighter future.